This almost derailed our building process before it started, and it's a big problem in Ghana. I'm sure it's not only in Ghana, but I know, I have the experience that I had. I know other people who've had it. Encroachment is a big issue in Ghana, and people get away with it a lot. We'll talk about it in this video. Stay tuned. This is Eric, and welcome to Ghana Bakweku YouTube channel, where we document the building process for our dream home in Ghana, West Africa. We hope that you find the content we share helpful, encouraging, and hopefully educating as well. Welcome back to the channel, folks. This has taken some time to actually record or document. Um, I've always, maintained that being neighborly is important. I actually learned that from my dad. I've mentioned it to a few friends in the past where my dad, my late dad used to say, if you're a good person, your neighbors are your security guards. So I've always ventured into any space that I go into to be neighborly, right? Because I know that if I'm good to people, then automatically the likelihood that they'll be good to me heightens, right? I'm not saying that is, 100% always the case, right? Because some people are just evil, period. But all things being equal, the better you treat people, the better you get treated. So a little backstory into our building journey. It started off in 2016 in December. Wifey, myself, and the kids went to Ghana for Christmas, and we decided to look for land after the festivities, and we did find the land that we currently are building on. We went and saw it, and at the time, there were no structures in the area. It was just bush. The only building that was there is the house that you see here. Actually, it was like two buildings walled in, started, but then nothing else. The rest was bush. So we went and looked at the land. We liked the view, and that was really what sold us, the views. The views were what sold us. The hills behind us, we knew there were, mining stone there, and we knew that it would take a while for that natural, quote unquote, preserve that really isn't a preserve anymore because they're mining it, will be flatlands, right? Because I think eventually what they'll do is once they mine the stones to a flattened level, then they probably sell the land, right? And people will come and build there. But for now, it is going to be some site that looks, is like untouched, right? Really. Um, it feels weird to say untouched because it looks like it from afar. But once you go up there, what they're doing up there, the mining they're doing up there, as you can see in, you know, um, the pictures and the videos that I've taken going up that hill. Um, I don't know how long it'll stay that pristine. So fast forward 2019, end of 2019, my youngest and I went to Ghana. So we got into Ghana after the festivities. We went to site to go take a look at what was there. The plan was simple: to go secure the boundaries and then start doing the paperwork, for the land title. Because I had 6 weeks, right? I had 6 weeks off from work. I had a sabbatical, and I decided to use those 6 weeks, spend it in Ghana, um, and give myself time to work on it, on the land. When we got to site, we realized there was a problem. I just realized right away, right? Because I was there when the land was bought. I picked, I with my wife and I, we picked it. So I was there. I was present when we bought the land. So I knew what it was supposed to be like, right? Visually, I knew what we were looking at was a problem because the first thing that was a telltale for me was that where I thought would be our land had someone like a platform built on it. And after investigation, I found out the neighbor um, the neighbor's contact. And I contacted him. He was pleasant the very first time because he didn't know who I was. And after I told him who I was, he got a little combative, but he still, it's like, oh, we'll figure it out. And then after that point, whenever I called, as soon as, like, now he knew my number, he never returned my call. And I did that for um, close to a month. Right? I'll probably say close to, like, let's just be fair and say close to probably 3 weeks. And at that point, I brought my cousin in. My cousin is a lawyer. I brought her in and I talked to her, and she knows landlords some, so she told me what we should do, and talking about that neighborly thing that I mentioned earlier in the video. I agreed because at the end of the day, if he bought his land from someone legitimately and I bought my land from someone legitimately, and somehow those two documents crossed, we needed to figure it out. And that's what I was trying to do, get us to sit down, figure it out, so that we can say, hey, you sold me this land, or I can tell, the person who sold us our land, that you sold me land that someone claims is theirs. So let's figure it out. And he would also have that opportunity. But because he started ghosting me, I knew there was something wrong. Without giving too much away, this person that at this point we've been in contention with, is someone who's supposed to be, you know, um, enforcing the law, without trying to give too much away. So what we ended up doing, my cousin told me we needed to take this up officially. So I wrote a letter, and then handed it to um, his employer. And from the reaction I got, they said they were going to do something about it, but it took a while and I wasn't hearing anything from them. So what we decided to do was to start building, because I heard stories, from a lot of people, where you could go to court and you might be right, but the presiding judge will say, because the person that you're in contention with has already spent money to build something on the structure, why don't you guys compromise or come to an agreement and settle scores that way, out of court. So we continue with the building, and his structure has practically been the way it's been since we started. And you know he keeps, or he kept trying to fight with us, over the last couple of years. And when, as you saw in the videos past, we constructed the wall to go meet the where he'd stolen the land, because he wasn't budging. What I wanted to do was actually to, keep pushing until he could, he would be upset enough that he would bring me whatever documents he had, because there was a point where he was claiming that where we dug the borehole, where we drilled the borehole, was supposed to be a road. But as you saw in the document from the assembly, that is not the case. The road is actually where he has his boys quarters built. So what he was trying to do was bully his way into keeping his property and then diverting the road in between, as if he's the area planner or whatever. And he gets away with it because, like I said, his position, you know um no longer a position anymore that he has. I think, I don't know if he retired or he got fired. I don't know, but that's you know neither here nor there. But anyway, back to the story. Fast forward, we built a wall. He broke it down, and at that point, I got upset that I got the person who sold us the land involved, and I basically told him that I wanted part of my money back, and that is, sparked things. So they had to get the the custodians of the land involved, and they actually went to the site, had a meeting with him, and let him know that what he's doing is not right, because the land, um, where he had built his footing, like the foundation decking that he has, that platform, was actually part of our property. So anything that he's doing that is, like, breaking down our stuff, it's not right, and he should desist from that. So they gave us the green light to re-erect the walls, while they summon him to the office, and have a conversation with him. So after a while, conversations were had. They got me into meetings with them, over the phone. Um, like I'll join a WhatsApp call, um, and I'll chime in, we'll listen. And his combative nature just, became, a muted one at that point. It's like he got tamed because he knew that finally I had backing of the people who actually own the land. So basically, what they decided to do was they told me I have legal rights to the land, but because we're going to be neighborly, and because I've been talking about this neighborly thing, and really when I talk about this, being a good neighbor, I was talking beyond. I'm looking at this beyond him and my lifetime, right? Our children and his children, if they live there, would be neighbors, and I didn't think that the fights of the fathers should carry on to the next generation. So I wanted a resolution. Eventually, what ended up happening was, um, they said even though they could tell me to own that land, they looked at it and said they'll do better because because of the money I would have to spend to break down that platform that is already built, um, to make it what I want, right? Because and I think I mentioned in the video, unless I wanted to maybe build a tennis court, like a concrete tennis court, um, there, or a basketball court, that place had gotten useless anyway. If I wanted to do what I wanted to do there, I'd have to spend more money, getting the place excavated, um, and really, at some point, I was willing to do that, just to show him that it could be done, um, because I have the legal backing of documents, but on my side. But they decided to do something else. And when they proposed it, I talked to my wife about it. What they ended up doing was, so the land that we lost to the guy is probably about 20 feet wide by the 90 feet depth, right? So what they decided to do was to give us land somewhere else, right? Not far from the site, actually. They wanted to give us land at this new site that they had, they were now selling. And their deal to me was to ensure peace and to compensate me for all the pain. They would give us a plot of land at 50% of the price, right? And then they also encouraged us, if we, could afford to buy more, they would discount it for us, and we could pay, over a period. And I thought that was, really pleasant of them, being able to, come to terms with us in that way, just to make sure that, you know, um, this issue could be settled. And I've seen the neighbor down the street, you know the last couple of times that I've been in Ghana. um he's even sent me a video of rain, flooding his basement, that I've put in a video before. um I saw him this last time that I went, and he actually was upset with me that I didn't tell him mom passed away. um but that's him. I think if we're going to be neighbors, it's one of those things, right? Some of these things happen, people don't think about it. But if you're going to be neighbors with someone going into battles with, how does that end up being, you know, a a neighborhood, right? So, um, Ellie, I promise you this this story. Here it is. Um, it's a difficult issue. If you can do anything that you can do to make sure that you can, um, circumvent this problem, do it. In our case, we didn't think, I think we slept on the fact that that place could be as developed as quickly as it did. And that was our problem, right? That was our fault, right? That was our mishap. So if you buy land, my advice to you is, if you buy land, as soon as you can, get it registered, get it, even if, you get it registered, someone can still encroach, right? So do something about it, set a boundary around it, and then start building as soon as you can. And hopefully you don't get any encroachment issues. um, they've changed the land laws in the last couple of years, and it kind of favors the real owners of the land. Um, the problem is that even if you went the legal route, like I mentioned, you waste your time paying a lawyer, you know, to really, not do really much for you. So I would say, I would hope that you don't have to deal with this, but if you do, figure out a way to settle it, settle it, get a custodians involved, and if you're lucky, you might get, some bonuses like I did. I'm not complaining. Um, you know in all honesty, the structure there, I hope that the assembly follows through and they actually um, demolish that building, not out of hatred, but to preserve the lay of the land, right? I don't have any hatred for this guy. He did, like I said, all is well that ends well. We didn't plan on um, you know doing anything with land readily, but his greed, if I'll call it that, ended up being a blessing for us. Here we are, with this new land, and the views are immaculate here as well. It's not uphill like our other property is. It's actually not far from the property. Actually, it's um, within eye shot. Um, from our current property. But this is something that we can hold on to for a bit, and determine if we wanted to do some business stuff on here. There are so many ideas that I have, but for now, we're concentrating on finishing the house. That way we don't, stretch um, our finances too thin. Concentrate on one, and then we'll figure out what to do with this one. All right. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for, sticking through this one with us. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the family, please do. We know a lot of people watch the videos that are not subscribed. We're begging you, please subscribe. One, I don't remember who it was, but a YouTuber, I said it's free. Clicking on that subscribe button is free. But, I know it takes effort to do it. So please do us a favor, click on that button so our videos can reach more people. Thank you so much. Until next time, be safe.